Hello people, I am Jaby Koay, joined by Syntell Koay.
You already know what's up.
And we're continuing on with Family Man, Season 2, Episode 5, Homecoming. Not the Spider-Man edition, but the Minogue edition. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're gonna see a cut-down version of our reaction because we're allowed a maximum of 5 minutes picture-in-picture. The reaction might extend a little bit beyond that, but we can only show you 5 minutes. However, if you'd like to watch the entire reaction, uncut, uninterrupted with us, you can head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Jaby Koay. You will need your own Amazon Prime subscription so that you can open up the show in an adjacent window to our reaction, and it's like you're watching it with your two favorite pals from the internet. Booyah. We will give you a 3, 2, 1 countdown sync to make it easier for you to get in sync with us so that, you can watch it along with us. Anywho, if you're watching this on Patreon already, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that bell icon. All notifications helps us out. And give this an upvote if you can. All right, here we go. This episode is slightly shorter.
Works for me. I like all meat, no fat.
Says the vegetarian.
Fatty veggies, look at them. Super guilty. I'm surprised they didn't take an ass whooping.
Why did you murder Nanda?
Murder? We look like murderers to you.
What were you doing with the body?
Nothing. We didn't do anything with body.
We are government agents, madam.
Which department?
Task, threat, analysis and surveillance.
I don't know any task.
They're trying to keep it just let it out the bag.
तू औरत के दिमाग समझ में आता नहीं है इसे तू सिंगल है समझ गया ना
और तेरे को जैसे
God damn.
I want to make call. It is my right. In my phone.
Please madam.
I love that.
Type B H.
Boss Dicky. விளையாடுறீங்களா? விளையாடுறீங்களா ரெண்டு பேரும்?
What? No.
Tonight you will spend in jail.
साला मेरा फोन गिरा दिया उसने 6 महीना बाकी है उसका EMI भरना पड़ेगा मेरे को.
It's the second phone this season so far.
கிருஷ்ணமூர்த்தி இந்த குள்ளனை தூக்கி அந்த செல்ல போடுங்க.
You don't even believe us that we are officer.
चुप करो.
हिंदी भी आती है. फालतू में इतना इंग्लिश बोला मैं नाटक कर रही थी देख.
Dad.
Oh, she said chup karo. Chup karo means shut up.
इस प्लेन का टेक ऑफ लोड 500 kg है, इसलिए पायलट सीट छोड़ के सारी सीट निकाल दो. इस टायर के बदले लाइट वेट डाल दो. पायलट का वेट कितना होगा?
It's that big crate of explosives too we forgot to think about too.
Right.
Yeah.
எல்லாம் ஓகே தானே?
போலீஸ் என்ன தேடுறாங்க.
உன்னை தலைமறைவா தான் இருக்க சொன்னா?
கவலைப்பட ஒண்ணும் இல்ல.
That was the intro. I didn't even realize. Jesus.
Everything being lost in translation.
But she spoke Hindi. She was messing with them. That was great.
Yeah. You call yourselves officers.
ஒரு ஃபோன் கால் பண்ணுங்க சீட் கிழிஞ்சு இருக்காங்க.
Sorry sir.
That house, rebel house.
That house belonged to this girl, Raji.
हो? ठीक है. ये वही ना जिससे वो
रास्ते में
गली में मिले.
Yes. तो ये तो rebel operative हो सकती है भाई.
What about his phone? Oh no.
My phone.
Your second phone.
That's right, because it got tossed off the roof.
Yeah.
It will work.
No, it won't.
It will work.
50% chance.
Just call me JK.
Okay, JK sir.
Just JK.
चले?
I mean, I get it. I get it.
You know, shoot your shot.
वैसे अथर्व दिखती कैसे?
They're fine. You know, young adults. Let me work on this. मैं तुम्हें ईमेल करती हूँ.
इसे switch on switch off होना कोई तुमसे सीखे.
Arvind, I told you long back that the reason I joined this company was so that I don't lose my sanity.
हम दोनों दोस्त हैं. और अब इस तरह इतने formal as colleagues. दोनों ने कितना वक्त गुजारा है साथ में.
Arvind, don't you see problems वहीं पे शुरू हुई थी. You know the chapter of my life is closed. And if you're expecting that...
Nah. Let it be.
What were the both of you expecting?
I mean, there's arguments to be made on both sides.
What?
I'll get to that later. But she had to know that drama was gonna come up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what were you expecting? And even on his part too. What were you expecting?
He was expecting to get some boogie. Because that almost feels like a sign, you know? Guys are always in game mode. You know what I'm saying?
That phone been underwater all night, homie. Ain't no saving that.
You never know.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Stay away from my phone.
Yeah.
I have Nanda's post-mortem report. She killed him with her bare hands. I think she's a trained fighter.
How do they know that?
Especially when he's all chopped up in pieces.
How do they know that?
Thank you.
So, I want to be part of this investigation.
I want you to see this.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, because they showed someone videotaping. I don't know if you caught that, but there was a guy who was videotaping everything happening.
Oh, I
the
did
camp.
miss that.
Raji, highly trained in jungle warfare, hand-to-hand combat.
That says a lot about you. You can get shot there and still be in the game.
We've been picking up chatter. Your preferred channels that have been lying silent for the past 10 years have suddenly become a hive of activity.
Bhaskaran has quit our government.
Deepan, you need to stop Bhaskaran now.
ஒரு குட் நியூஸ் தலைவரே. French foreign minister அவியன் கவர்மெண்ட் எங்களை கட்டாயம் அங்கீகரிக்கும் என்று சொல்லியிருக்கிறார். பாஸ்கரன், எங்களோட கவர்மெண்ட் ஒரு அங்கீகரிக்கப்பட்ட கவர்மெண்டா மாத்துறதுக்கு நாங்கள் எவ்வளவு போராடி இருப்போம் என்று உங்களுக்கு சொல்ல தேவையில்லை. இந்த நேரத்தில் ஒரு சின்ன தப்பும் நடக்காம பார்த்துக்கொள்ளணும்.
அதனால தான் அவனோட இழப்புக்கு நியாயம் கிடைக்க வைப்பேன்னு நம்புறேன். இந்த உலகத்துக்கு என்ன மாதிரி தலைவர்களை விட உன்ன மாதிரி தலைவர்கள் தான் தேவை.
It's like, I ain't telling you shit.
Yeah.
You on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know.
Mr. Sabitji, you're right. Bhaskaran is up to something.
What's up, guys? But I have some really good news. The client loved the pitch.
That's the director. That's the director.
That's him?
Yeah, he's the co-director.
Nice.
Tomorrow is family day. Don't forget.
28,000.
अरे क्या किडनी बेच के खरीदूं क्या?
3,000 only.
Okay, give.
I will pay.
अरे no, it's okay, Umayal. It's okay. Just forget about the mobile. But you can buy me a good filter coffee, please.
You said my name correctly.
Umayal ना?
Umayal.
हमारे मराठी में भी है.
That's cute. It's cute. She ain't no 32. Is that how old she said she was? 32?
Yeah, 32. I was like, oh, that's...
You look 22.
Yeah, you might be part vampire or something.
ஜபராஜிக்கு தெரிஞ்ச மாதிரி வேற அவனுக்கு இந்த ஊர்ல ரூட்லாம் தெரியும். உங்களுக்கு என்ன வேணுமோ லிஸ்ட் கொடுத்துருங்க. லிஸ்ட் எது தெரியலையோ அதெல்லாம் ஜபாவுக்கு.
Pizza. Sure.
Indians are watching you. I have sent you everything to go underground. You must leave immediately.
Thank you, Samir.
क्या मस्ती चल रही है? कल मेरे ऑफिस में ब्रिंग योर किड्स टू वर्क डे है तो हम साथ चल रहे हैं, ओके?
I'm not in the mood to social. आप पापा के ऑफिस गई थी? नहीं. Then why you're forcing me to go?
Fine.
Suji, don't worry.
Saying your mom and first name.
He did the same thing to his dad.
Right, that's his comic.
You don't even drink coffee and tea. Should I call for a lemonade?
Whiskey.
I like her.
This much? Small? Do you smoke?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
जल्दी करो जेबराज, सुबह होने में 2 घंटे हैं।
இதான் ஸ்பாட்.
That dude's gonna get taken out. He's gonna compromise the mission.
Yep.
வெட்டியா இருக்கிறதுக்கு வந்து தோணலாம்ல.
மூஞ்சறப்பா வச்சிட்டா நீங்க பெரிய புடியா.
That dude's gone, man.
Yeah. He's not gonna make it. Have you ever dug a hole before?
At the beach.
I mean, it's tough. Like, it's tough. That would be good and winded. One that deep. There's the explosives.
Boy.
मैं तेने कहूँ तो इन्ने
Mang best kata karnang. Alpha 2, intrusion detected.
Whoo! Oh!
Oh no! Yuck! Oh God! Stop it! Make it stop!
Oh, and she gave him a knife.
Oh, horrible. Oh, he's out next. She's gonna clock him with the shovel.
Oh yeah. Think. Get your ass in that hole. He over here yelling. I mean, what you think was gonna happen? Did they even get the explosives?
Yeah. They're not leaving without mission accomplished. So, wow.
Okay. All right.
Wow. Goddamn. This episode did feel a little bit longer, but I'm also hungry. So I need to eat some food. I do like the little romance going on that was initially started out with with the negatively charged between the shorter cop and the lady who worked at the police station. Yeah. I like that it started out with like intense tension, and now it's this cute little romance that's sort of blossoming. I think that's pretty cool. The whole jail scene in general was like funny. It's interesting how they're doing this. It's all like, I apologize to Raj and DK. It's almost a little bit like Marvel in that they're keeping that humor present, right? You know, in order to just bring some levity, some comic relief, so it doesn't always feel so like dreary and dark. You know, I like that because I still feel the suspense. I still feel what's at stake, and every now and then you get a chuckle because that's how life is.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I think I have come to accept that the pacing from season 1 is probably, that's just not going to happen. So I'm going to really enjoy the ride a lot more.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have to be
just go like Mandalorian.
It doesn't have to be just crazy action scene after crazy action scene after crazy action scene. There is one thing that I am missing though. I'm not gonna lie.
What's that?
Some of the creative camera work. That was some of the things that I really enjoyed in the first season. Everything from the staircase scene to when they were in the other country and you got to see the hut that everybody stayed in, to when they were going from house to house and it was that big one take, the hospital scene in season 1. Like, I'm naming all these pivotal scenes, had these great camera work, this great action. So I'm not gonna lie. I miss it.
Yeah. There is some cool camera work in here as well. I mean, it started out with that oneer. Right. You know, there are some moments in here that I thought were pretty cool that jumped out at me. It's not as much as in season 1, but I'm all right with it so far. But there are certainly, it's simplified. But I think that I might be wrong about this. I'd have to ask, but I think that they were also dealing with the challenges of COVID.
Oh, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
That's a very huge thing. That actually changes everything.
Yeah. And so it makes things a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. But they're still doing a good job. The storytelling is still superb. The character building is still superb. Yeah. It's still a gem. It's just, you're just looking at it from another way of storytelling than what we originally saw from the first season. It's still very good.
I think that in lieu of, all the snazzy camera work and all that stuff, which I feel like Raj and DK usually only use when it makes sense to use. They don't just do it for the heck of it.
Right.
And so there haven't been too many moments that necessitated that. But when there are intense moments, I feel like they do a good job. Like, I could feel when something was going to happen when the camera was following Manoj and his buddy in the alleyway. I'm like, something weird is going to happen, and then he bumps into the girl. Right. And so I like the way the camera work. Like the instead of camera work, there's camera placement. Okay. And so what are we focusing on? What were we thinking about? Like there was a very Hitchcockian moment when girls with the body bag in her hand and the police officer shows up. It's like the scene on the train. I forgot the name of the movie, but there's a scene with a Hitchcock film where there's like these wine glasses, I believe it was, and one of them's poison. I forgot the name of the movie, but it's a film school thing. Anyone who goes to film school over here, you're going to learn about that. And I thought that was a moment of tension. It's like the Raj and DK and the writers are doing a good job of keeping that suspense going, even though it's not snazzy camera work, even though there's not a whole lot of action. There's still stuff going on where you're uncomfortable, like I said. Yeah. But I did feel a little bit of a slower pace here. I didn't need, personally, as much of the office life with the wife. I felt like, to some extent, it felt a little bit like padding, because I got the point. I already got what's going on there. And one thing is informing another, but like you said, you know, what were you expecting? You know, when she's at the office and dude is like, what I thought, you know, we could like rekindle shit. The thing about it is, as a man, speaking of, you know, bias, like I understand where he's coming from.
Right.
And, you know, but being objective, I understand where she's coming from. She's just trying to find herself again, but she's not being considerate of the fact that dude likes her.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to have that convo before you go back into the office. This is as bad as Matthew McConaughey asking what is a wormhole right before they go in the wormhole. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a very good point. Yeah, that part to me was a little frustrating because I guess I want some new information. Because right now we're kind of rehashing something we've already talked about last season, and you just went right back into the fray again, willingly, when you already knew what the stakes were. The last time it was like no lesson was learned. So I'm just trying to figure out, okay, so where is this character going? Where's the arc?
Yeah, this episode was a little bit more procedural. I can understand that. I mean, where you're coming from. It definitely wasn't like twisting and turning like it was at least in the previous episodes of the season and last season. But I have a feeling it's going to amp up with the next several episodes.
Yes. No, and make no mistake, I have no doubt in the ability of the writers or the directors. None. You've already won me over. It's just I'm just observing as we're walking down this path. It's just a new path. It's like, well, these aren't the trees that I'm used to, and the sun's setting a little bit differently than the last time we walked down this path together. I'm still all in. I still love the characters. I love the humor that's going along. I like the relationship building. I love their ability to flesh out a good villain. You get a really good idea, and we still got reminded of who she is. In this last combat scene, they did something that I thought was necessary, and that is she got overpowered. And I've been waiting to see that. I'm like, what happens when she gets overpowered? Because she's a little girl. Like, the more I look at her, she's super tiny. Like, there was a moment when she was sitting in the car, and the window to the car window was like damn near like at her chin. And I was like, man, she's a petite. I need something to let me know that when she's fighting that she's just not like Black Widow. You know what I'm saying? So there was a moment when she was getting choked out, and then the thumb scene, which is absolutely crazy and gory, and it makes sense. So the fight choreography is still on the money. It's still very believable.
Yeah. No, I love it. I like all the action.
And I'm not trying to shit on the camera work, but I did see something that was really nice to kind of like justify that it's just a different way of storytelling, and that is the what is it, shooting day for night? Is that the term that
it did look like that. It did look like that.
But it still looked good. You could still see what's going on.
Yeah, it did. There was some kind of weird texture in the color, and I was wondering how they executed it. I wasn't sure if they shot day for night or if they just hit the ISO up to like 60,000 to make that work. You know, because these cameras are very advanced, and so like we're shooting on the Sony A7S III right now, and you can crank that thing up to 400,000 ISO. It might not look nice, but you can crank it up. Yeah, it did take me out of it a little bit, but I got pulled back in when the soldiers showed up. And I mean, there was no real surprises there. I knew what was going to happen, but like we were saying like we discussed in the previous episode, I think, is the effectiveness of the violence in the show. Right. It's like it shows up and it shocks you because it's not happening all the time. There's a lot of drama and in political dialogue happening throughout the show, and then boom, you get hit with it. It just shocks you, and it like wakes you up in a way. It's crazy. One of the things I'm happy about is the choreography has been different fight to fight. It hasn't. Not once have I seen a repeat of anything. Right. And that's pretty cool. That's very creative. And the fights are short, and they're always different from each other. So it doesn't ever dwell or overstay its welcome. It does exactly what it's got to do and gets out. I love how efficient the fighting is.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got a question regarding that. So the guy that's with our villain, I think she's qualifying as a villain now for me in my eyes. What is his purpose? Because he's obviously not a fighter, because he let her fight both of those dudes and was just like chilling, holding the old man, keeping him from
he knew
or whatever it was.
Oh, what's his role?
Like, so what is his role, and where am I missing? I'm having a disconnect with him.
He's an in-between guy, as far as I can tell. Like he's a gopher. Like he's doing whatever he's told to do. Right. He seems important, but I don't know what his specialty is. Like we understand her specialty in and out. As far as I can tell, he's just the dude that follows orders. He knew she could take care of herself. So he's like, you got this.
He was like, I'm gonna just handle the old man.
Yeah. I didn't really understand.
Let your little 100-pound self take these two grown men on.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why he was holding dude back. Like
That thing. Oh yeah, because I already found out. I just assumed it was to keep him from yelling, but then again, the dudes are yelling from getting murdered. So I don't know. I guess they had to have him do something because the old man would have just gotten in the way. But we saw that coming too. When he's not paying his debt, he asked for an advance, and then whatever's not on the list he keeps. So I'm like, what else was not on the list? It's like one thing on the list, and that's explosives. So what else were they supposed to get? I don't know. Yeah. So that was just a little like, okay, all right, well, we'll run with it.
Well, when you're drinking that heavy, they're doing him a favor. Like, he just is asking to be clocked out of life. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's permanently ending this job called life. The whole thing with the pizza, I knew something was going to be inside that pizza. Yeah. I thought it was pretty clever, though, because, pizza's the last area you'd suspect secret documents to be transported in.
Yo, there was a lot of documents in that envelope, and then when you see the pizza, it's like flat. I was like, that pizza should be like big lumped over, because it was like passports and IDs and keys.
It worked. It worked. I thought it worked.
I was like, wow.
Maybe they hollowed out the pizza a little bit.
Hey, I'm with it. It wasn't distracted enough for it to be like, whatever. But, okay, so the relationship between the kids and the mom.
It's a little strange because the mom is so powerless when it comes to her kids, and I don't know how I feel about that. I guess it makes sense. It just feels very Western, and I think that's what's throwing me.
Okay.
Because I know with like my mom, none of this would fly.
Well, yeah, you don't question it. It's just she's telling you what to do.
Oh man, I was so afraid of my mom as a kid. I was so afraid of her because she didn't say a whole lot. Yeah. But if she spoke, you paid attention, because otherwise you were going to get the back of her hand,
Yeah, I paid attention with the calling your parents their first name.
Yeah.
That's it.
I would never.
Absolute no, but different cultures. So I just have to be like, okay, well, that's just different.
Yeah. This is more of a bridging episode for me. Okay. Of like taking us, from one part of the story to the next. Because it did feel a little bit perfunctory. There wasn't a whole lot of, like you're saying, there wasn't a whole lot of twists and turns. It wasn't moving at a clip. It's just doing what it needs to do to get to the next part. And but the thing about it is, I think that I'll give you one or two of those because the story's set up so well that I'm like, all right, that's fine. Yeah. But you can't. That can't be the rest of the show.
I'm hoping it's not. Yeah. I'm hoping it's not, because there are some things that I really enjoyed about the original series outside of the storytelling, which is most important. But man, some of the cinematography, it was just really like well done in the first season. Yeah. And so that's missed a little bit in just the camera working.
Yeah. I mean, if there was protocols being taken on set, it's like I can only imagine how much shooting in COVID times hampers your ability to do exactly what you want to do, especially when you have time constraints. It's like those compound movement shots gotta go. Yeah. It's like, we need to just get this shot so we can move forward. You know what I'm saying? And so, anyway.
It really puts stuff in perspective.
I mean, look what happened to Mission Impossible.
Yes.
It just got shut down for 2 weeks. So.
I mean, and even we were talking about it loosely in Falcon and Winter Soldier, because COVID changed everything. Yeah. So you might not have seen the full vision of what the director-writers may have wanted due to logistics.
Yeah. A buddy of mine who is doing stunts on, or stunt coordinating on Tenet, I believe, got COVID. So it's like, it's just, you gotta do what you gotta do to make it work. I'm enjoying what creative stuff that camera-wise that they're doing within the show. It's not, like you said, it's not as much as before, but I'm enjoying the show nonetheless. Yes. So anyway, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you're watching this on Patreon, thanks so much for supporting us here. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and hit that bell icon, all notifications, and give us an upvote. Make sure to check out Syntell on his YouTube channel, youtube.com/Syntell, and also his social media, Instagram @Syntell. And check out our other reactions, reviews, short films, vlogs, and interviews. I'm Jaby Koay. This is...
It's your boy.
Peace out.